Hi, Deb with Saltwater and Lime, and I just wanted to get on here and posted a little update about what's been going on with our tanks and our systems and in our house. A lot has happened since the last time I got on here and put any updates on. The first thing you'll notice is this innovative marine tank behind me. It has been empty for a little bit and will probably continue to be empty for a little bit, but it is one of the newer additions to the household. There right now is not a plan for the tank as far as inhabitants go. We're going to spend a lot of time working on getting the equipment and everything together first. So my office got moved back into the bedroom, and with that, tanks got moved around in the house a little bit. We have a few things kind of just all crammed into one corner, and hopefully, I'll be able to bring some things into this room again and get the sorted out so the living room looks a little less chaotic. So, with that said, the Innovative Marine is a 50-gallon INT, so internal overflow. With the Innovative Marine, their internal overflow is all the way across the back, so coast to coast overflow, which I really like. Hoping that that helps a little with skimming. The tank that I purchased came with the tank and the stand and the lid, but it does not have a sump or any of the plumbing. So that's something that I get to do and decide on my own and figure out. This will be the first tank that I kind of put all the way together. And I like that about the Innovative Marine Systems that they allow you to do that. I struggled with picking a tank brand for a long time because I would either like the tank or I would like the stand but not the tank, or I would like the sump but not the tank, or there wouldn't ever be a system where all the parts were exactly what I wanted without going completely custom, which was just completely out of our budget. So this came freight. We did, because of where we live, I'm not able to get a semi truck down our road, but the freight company allowed us to go out to meet them at one of their hubs, and they loaded the tank on its pallet directly into the back of our pickup truck. They allowed us to kind of check it out there. They were really great, really easy to work with. Um, so that was a good experience. Now, if I had ordered a much larger tank, I'm not sure how that would have went. Although I guess I could have hooked up a trailer and gone out there and had them loaded onto a trailer, and then just hired a whole lot more people at the house or bribed people with pizza. I'm not sure. But so it worked out really well with this one being a 50-gallon. It took three of us to get it, lifted and in the door. Um, the stand is all aluminum, and I really like the way it went together. It was very easy to follow the instructions. I think it looks really nice. The one thing I will say is that this stand, unlike some of the others, does not have leveling feet. So the whole entire tank is the way it is. You can adjust a little bit with the aluminum pieces, panels, and that worked out well with our house. It worked out really well. So right now, at least, it is sitting very level. Once I put water in it, of course, we'll have to check it again, but we are probably a good 6 months out from having water in this tank. And I'll kind of explain a little more about why that is. But we've just got so much else going on right now, and putting each piece that I want together and taking the time to figure out what equipment that I want in this tank. So this is kind of my view from where I'm sitting right now. So it's right over my shoulder, sitting at my desk doing computer work. And my desk, my office equipment, the bedroom are all this kind of lavender and teal color. And as silly as it sounds, for me, that is very important that having the tank in this space kind of includes that, or kind of continues that color scheme. My brain just doesn't work very well when there is things that look chaotic and out of place. And that's just something that I have learned with myself and through the years, kind of knowing that in order for me to be able to sit at my desk and relax in my own bedroom, that I need to continue um, to have everything kind of look cohesive and look like it was planned and put together. Um, at the same time, I also want to make sure I have good quality equipment. That doesn't necessarily mean the higher end. That just means something that's going to do the job well and last. So, looking at things like NIOS, which have purple skimmer, but they're good. Looking into um, Aquaphor makes silicone and purple. So I picked up a couple of their different sizes to kind of see what I can use for that. So silicone tubing, I might kind of just grab some of that and kind of switch out some of the silicone tubing from other brand equipment that I use. I did pick up some heat shrink vinyl so I can kind of cover some things. So we'll just kind of piece it together here and there and get things together well. Um, I do already have rock cycling for this system. So even though I don't know what kind of inhabitants I'm going to put in it, I don't know what direction I'm going to go yet with coral. The rock is already cycled from my previous system. So this rock came out of my Tideline system that we had, the 4-foot all-in-one. And so it's just been cycling, it's ready to go. There is one little tiny clownfish dude in there. She is just kind of living the life in the stock tank as it is. And hopefully soon we'll be able to get a pair for her. And she'll be going into this tank behind me. And then that's really the only plan I have at this point. After that, I don't know what the next step is. I found, speaking of purple equipment, I did find a Jabao pump. This is one of their wireless systems, and it has purple. It's not quite the same shade of purple, but I kind of like it. Looks good. So it's white and purple, and I've heard really good reviews on this pump. This will be my first time using Jabao for a return pump, but I've heard really good things about it. I have some other friends who have similar pumps from Jabao. So that's my plan for the return pump, at least for this tank. So again, some of the things will be cheaper, even though, going with a NIOS for the skimmer, it kind of trades off. So the other thing that I am doing is something that I have not splurged on before, but I am getting a custom sump built for this tank from Poseidon's Creations. He is here in Florida, down in Miami. He makes awesome work. I've been following him on Instagram for a long time and talking to him about this system. So we're going to have something white and purple and definitely to fit in with the look that I'm going for with this equipment. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be our big splurge. And of course, that's also going to be one of the time delays that I was talking about. So getting that custom built and brought in is going to take a little bit of time. While we're doing that, I have a entirely second empty tank sitting right here beside my desk. So that's kind of on this side of me. Again, we have a lot of chaos going on in the living room right now. We are working on moving some things into the bedroom. And Innovative Marine had some Black Friday sales that I kind of took advantage of. Uh, Maybe not the most responsible things to do with my life, but you know what? Hey, we're adults. So this is a 20-gallon Innovative Marine all-in-one, and it is going to be replacing my Waterbox 25 Peninsula. So the inhabitants for this tank are going to be my two maroon clowns. So this is our pair of maroons. So Slim Shady is the female. She's a gold nugget clown. And Maroon 5 is a gold lightning cross. So the two of them are hanging out with some bubble tip anemones. They're going to have this tank entirely to themselves. So right now they're sharing some space with some corals and things. And I want to be able to have just a complete anemone only tank where I don't have to worry about the maroons getting aggressive as they get larger, and I don't have to worry about the bubble tip anemones stinging any corals or anything. So they're kind of hard to get pictures of, but they are a very, very cool little pair to watch. So that'll be nice to be right next to the desk to kind of watch them interacting with their anemones. This is one of my chaotic corners in the living room currently. So that tank on the left is that Waterbox 25, and it is a very nice tank. They're doing well in it. However, with the changes we had to make in the layout of our house and the usage of the rooms, I just don't have a good space for it. There's not a place where that peninsula style really fits in very well. So we're going to move that into this 20-gallon on my nightstand. So it's going to fit in a little bit better with the space. The other tank there on the right is also an Innovative Marine. It is the 30-gallon long. So it's an odd shape. It is 30 inches, maybe 36 inches left to right, but only 12 inches front to back and 12 inches tall. And it will eventually have soft corals in it. Right now, it is holding all of my stony coral frags that are doing really well in that tank. Um, but eventually, I'd like to be able to get those stony corals back into the Red Sea tank. And right now, the Red Sea tank is my largest and my oldest system, and it is also the tank that is doing the or struggling the most, I guess I should say. Um, Soft corals do really well in it. The fish in the tank are doing very well. Um, but anytime I put any stony coral at all into this tank, it starts to um, struggle. Slow tissue necrosis, really, just STN. Um, some of it has been RTN, but pretty much any stony coral that goes into this tank starts to fade out within a week. And as soon as I pull those frags out of this tank and put them back into one of the other nano systems, they immediately turn around, they start regrowing tissue, color comes back on them. And I don't really have a reason for that at this point. I sent off testing with Aquabiomics, and nothing really came back with a definite reason why that might be. My diversity that they give you, so that diversity score that Aquabiomics gives you, was extremely low in this tank. So almost no diversity as far as bacteria goes. So we added some rock and sand from Tampa Bay Live Rock to the system, as well as some rock from a couple other systems, kind of moved that into the sump and picked up some bacteria bottled. Um, and I will let this tank kind of ride just like it is, and maybe send off another aquabiomics test in a few months and see how things have changed. I also sent off a couple of ICP tests, but I have not gotten the tests that I have gotten back didn't show anything. Again, nothing really stood out as a reason for having the struggles. And the other tests that I have sent off, I haven't gotten the results back yet. So, well, hopefully we might get some answers. Otherwise, it just seems like maybe it's just not stable enough yet. Um, Flow, lighting, water changes, dosing, all of my parameters in this tank are very similar to my nano tanks. I do water changes together. In fact, I have done water changes, kind of swapping water from this tank to the nano tank and back. Um, and I don't really seem to have a reason as to why this tank is struggling the way it is. So again, my plan with this tank right now is just continue to let it go, let it have its softies. The softies seem to do really well in this tank. The fish again are doing very well. So just going to kind of continue where we're going, just kind of enjoying the tank like it is. And maybe 6 months down the road, we'll put some more hard stony corals in it and see what happens. Um, Otherwise, if it doesn't, then maybe this tank will end up being my stony coral tank and we'll go from there. Um, so it's like I said, this tank behind me, I don't have a real plan for. It was a very splurge purchase. Like I said, I have rock for it set up. I have one clown planned for it that we just happen to have already. So he's hanging out in the stock tank. So I'm leaning the most towards mostly an LPS type tank. But I've also considered like a carpet anemone. I've also considered a bare bottom SPS solid tank. Um, I don't really have a plan right now with this tank. We're just going to kind of ride it out and focus more on getting the equipment together and um, not rush it. So we'll see what happens. If you have any thoughts or ideas about what might be a good fit for this tank, as far as what, now that you've seen what else we already have going on, um, kind of let me know. Feel free to pipe in, give me some thoughts. So we'll talk to you later. Thanks.